Yes, coming up on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. If you've never been to the Crocker Museum in Sacramento, wrong. Go. And the reason is because it is not only an art museum where you walk about silently and look at pictures and nod. It's got all kinds of programming from films to art exhibits to art auctions, printmaking, all kinds of stuff. Jazz. So stay tuned for LiveWire. We're going to talk right after this. Oh, yes. With me in the studio is Howden Kinsman. He is the Adult Education Coordinator. I want to be learning of the Crocker Museum.
Yeah. Hey, Ray, thanks for having me, and thanks for getting my name correct. Not many people do that. Not many people get my title correct either. So you're 2 for 2 on that.
Okay, 2 for 2. Well, let's see if I can find some other things to do to get your love and interest. Okay, so good. So you were walking down the street one day and you thought, I think I'll go to work for one of the oldest art museums in the Western United States.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it up.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up here. No.
That's great.
No, I mean, the journey was much longer for me to get here. But I'm glad to be in Sacramento. I'm glad to be at the Crocker Art Museum. I love what I do, working with artists, working with local artists, getting artists from outside the state to come and visit us. It keeps me on my toes, it keeps me interested, and I love sharing it with the public. So,
well, all of those things are what is really needed for somebody who's an adult education coordinator. And all of these programs you must have something to do with in one way or the other, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, in the lead up to this, we were going through all the stuff that we do at the museum, and I mean, a good portion of that is what I oversee.
That.
Yeah.
Fabulous. At any rate, I think it's really, even yoga. I mean,
Yes.
I like yoga. But an art museum and yoga, you wouldn't necessarily put them together.
Exactly.
But they do.
Yeah. And I'm not very good at yoga myself, but I'm pretty good at putting a program together. And so, yeah, with yoga, that's a good, I suppose, a good place for us to start this conversation. And that, we like to bring experiences with art and put them with sort of unusual, unexpected, always surprising type experiences. So that's why when you come to the Crocker, you can come and, spend some time with the work of art and get a session of yoga in at the same time.
And a session of yoga, okay. Well, and it's a fascinating old building, and it's also one of the best in terms of the co-programming that you reach out into the community. I noticed you're doing something called Estamos de la Raza, which is Latino artists from this area, and I think San Francisco area as well, who are put together this. And is this program still running?
Yes, the Estampas de la Raza collection exhibition is up. It's come to us from a museum in Texas, but it does have a lot of artists that are based in the Northern California region, along with a few folks from Texas as well.
Wow.
And then, of course, we've included some of our collection of Royal Chicano Air Force prints.
Royal Chicano Air Force.
And that exhibition is up through the 1st of October. So there's still plenty of time for people, viewers at home, to see it.
That's good, because the Royal Chicano Air Force is like our baby.
Yes.
Sacramento has a number of arts programs that developed, out of the boomer artists and the RCAF. That's been one of them, and it continues to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming up on 4 years now at the Crocker Art Museum, and the longer I'm at the museum, the more and more I discover about sort of the creative energy and atmosphere that's been in our Northern California region and the city of Sacramento. And really, it's just such an inspiration to work with a lot of these folks who are still living and working in the city, to see new folks come and visit us from outside of our city and get to work with them. Sort of the arts are alive and well in Sacramento, it seems like.
They sure are, okay. And you have a film series coming up. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the film series is titled California Fresh 2. It's our second sort of collaboration with California Humanities, who are a sort of funding agency, nonprofit, and they have a California documentary project where they sort of support films made in California by California filmmakers and about topics sort of relevant to California. So the first series, I think it was back in 2018, was super popular. It was really well received. And so coming out of the pandemic, we were presented with an opportunity to work with them again. So hence California Fresh 2. The first one was California Fresh. So we have 3 films in this series. The first one was Mija, which we screened last month. And that was about 2 emerging musicians who are sort of children of undocumented immigrants, and it kind of told their story, kind of ascending through the music industry, but also dealing with, sort of issues of immigration, dealing with the federal government. And so it was really a very touching story, very powerful, very thought-provoking, but also kind of a lot of fun to see, these 2 music professionals kind of sort of grow up on the screen. And then the second film is United Skates, which we screen tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So those of you,
tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay. At what time?
6:30. The film
PM?
Yes.
Can I get tickets still?
You can. Crockerart.org. That's where you go.
Oh, there it came up. We have a really sharp group of people backstage.
And there's our website. Tickets are $8 if you are already a Crocker member, and $16 if you aren't a member.
Okay.
Yeah, so exactly. Become a member. Your admission ticket to the film can be rolled into a membership purchase.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then, the event tomorrow, give me a picture.
Well, I think we might have pictures.
We have
here,
pictures, right? Okay, well, they'll put them up.
But
while we're talking,
yeah, there we
they'll
go.
just kinda like
and I love this.
up. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I love this image because I think it really encapsulates kind of the feeling of the film series. There's a lot of fun, there's a lot of energy, but it deals, with some really sort of pressing socioeconomic issues.
Sure.
And United Skates really tells the story of the underground African American skate community across the U.S. And really dealing with, roller rinks kind of facing financial struggle and closing, and how do you keep this sort of energy, this atmosphere, this sense of community together as places are being forced to close.
I think we have maybe 4 or 5 roller skating establishments still cooking in Sacramento.
Yes.
And it's fascinating. I haven't been skating since I was a teen, but people know it's a real drive.
Yes.
And that to organize them in a kind of a show is another step, and a group of people who are driven to skate.
Yes. There's been a lot of interest in the film. The filmmakers are actually going to be in town tomorrow for the film screening, so you'll be able to hear firsthand from them sort of the making of the film, sort of why they decided to do it. Yes, and I totally agree. I'm learning every day about the roller skating community in Sacramento. I've seen a number of articles in the Bee about the community over the years. So yeah, I'm hoping they'll show up in numbers tomorrow to see the film.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And that's an interesting series, and I'm glad that history has reached in and photographed them or filmed them for for remembering the concept of. I don't think roller skating is ever going to go away.
Yes.
But there are people like me who have fallen too many times.
Yeah. Yes, it can be dangerous. But I mean, when I walk around town, I see people in roller skates using, the tennis courts and got headphones in and jamming out in there. So it looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if I have the rhythm to do that, but I can certainly appreciate it from a distance.
I hear you. You have to wear a lot of pillows.
Yeah.
You fall down.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at some photographs, and you can be the narrator, and I'll go out for a Coke.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you did a pretty good job on the intro, so I feel like, do you really need me?
Okay, now,
Once you go into the skate world, it's a world in its own. You don't know what to expect. You hear the bass, you step out on the floor and just let it go.
As you go across the country, you'll find it's a really thriving rink. It's because they have a really strong African-American skate community.
It was a place where the streets, everybody met up.
Everything was underground at some point in time.
When jazz first came out, everybody was like, okay, wait a minute, I don't know what's going on. You don't understand the culture, you push it away.
The owner told us that they're not going to renew our lease.
This is the pattern. Our skate community is suffering.
What are we gonna do now? Where are we gonna go?
Black folks, they think you get a lot of them together, it's gonna be trouble.
Sheriff's already out here. And they harassed us the whole time we were there.
We gotta keep fighting. This is my history. This is my culture. Whatever the situation, we're gonna roll.
So if you just tuned in, I'm talking to Houghton Kinsman, and he is from the Crocker Museum, and we were talking about the programming that they do, and you should know that this event is coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and you could get down there and see it at 6:30 p.m. Hey, grab a little food, get on down there.
Yeah.
And it's a very special film. This is I like films that are made about our kind of culture, and I like storyline films too. But this is really an amazing, good thing. And the filmmakers are going to be there?
Yes, the two filmmakers are going to be visiting us. They're flying up just before the film. So yeah, you'll get to hear from a California filmmaker about a California sort of centric film.
Yeah.
Talk about supporting local.
Right. So, and the film series, it looks like it's going to go on, right?
Yes.
It's going to go on because
Yes.
they found out that it works really, gets a lot of information out and brings a lot of people over to the art museum. It is the Crocker Art Museum, and it's actually near the water there, so you can actually go to the museum and then cross the street carefully and go and look at the river.
Yes. Yes, it's set right by the river. Actually, the way the new building is designed, the architects took into consideration some of the natural landscape and designed some of the features of the new building to kind of speak to the surrounding landscape. So next time you look at our Crocker Art Museum logo, look at the sort of slanting text like you can see over here. And then when you look at the sawtooth on the top of the building, the gray part. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
This is really great. So, okay, and the whole thing is that this is all part of using that art museum. You can go see art. You can always go see art. And then you can take part in all of these kinds of activities that happen there. I mean, printmaking, a festival of music, jazz, and all kinds of other programs that normally one wouldn't think that a museum of art would hold.
Yes. We like to say the Crocker Art Museum is always surprising. And every Thursday night, we have something different programmed. So the first Thursday is usually sort of a smaller program focused on like literature or design. The second Thursday is usually Art Mix, which is our art party extravaganza. So if you want to have a good time, come out and see us on a second Thursday. Third Thursday is usually film. That's the reason why we're screening United Skates tomorrow. And then the fourth Thursday is usually a music or concert series.
So we have just 1 minute, and then we have to go to a break. And I just want to say that to get there, all you have to do is, if you have a computer, just Google the words Crocker Art Museum. Boom, all of the information that we're saying right now comes up on the screen, okay? So we're going to take a short pause. Thank you, Houghton, for talking to me, and we'll be back and talk more about other programs. Back now. So thanks for
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
In 4 days. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do. Did you have a good day at school? She gave them some broth. Without any bread. There you go. And kissed them all soundly.
Night night.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Hi, we're back with Houghton Kinsman, who is the adult education coordinator over at the Crocker Museum in beautiful Sacramento. And if you're watching, we're talking about the programming there, and we've talked about some of the programs that are going on. There's something there every night almost, and tomorrow night is a wonderful movie about roller skating.
Yep.
And every Friday there's something.
Yeah, so every Thursday we have programming late into the evening. The museum starts up and stays open late. On Fridays we do have some kids programming, depending on sort of the dates and times of the program schedule. So coming up pretty soon we have We Create, which is really this, I don't know, it's a great opportunity for kids and families to do some, hands-on art making activities.
We Create,
yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Kids get to spend some time in the museum, get to see some of the artwork on display, and then to take something away with them when they leave.
It is so important, I think, that young people, and I'm glad, you emphasize a lot of programming for young people, that they get inculcated into the understanding of the love of art and following art and trying to worry about what does this mean to me, and getting life, the whole activated around the idea of art. And I find it fascinating, I'm glad my mother took me to the Chicago Art Museum when I was a little boy. And we walked around looking at it, and she says, "What do you think of this, Ray?" "Oh, Ma, I'm hungry."
Yes, I know. A museum visit can be exhausting, but it can also be exhilarating. And working in the education department, I've seen firsthand, sort of the impact that spending time in these galleries in front of works of art, learning from artists, listening to artists, the impact is considerable. So
this is great. So about the kids programming, it's kind of an ongoing thing. So you have to keep in touch with the museum about what's next for my little girl or my little boy.
Yeah. I brought our programming guide. I don't know if you can get a close up on this.
There it is.
Art Interactive. So right now we're working on May through August, which is our summer programming cycle. Our fall programming cycle will come out pretty soon. So my best advice is come to the museum, get a copy of our Art Interactive magazine, and that lists all the programs for our programming schedule.
Oh, that's great. That's good. And it's nice to be able to walk away with something like that, because then you can put it on home and then open it up and look at it. And or you can get online. There are people who live online, Yep.
crockerart.org. You can find information about our current exhibitions, upcoming exhibitions, our programs. You can read about the museum history. And if you want, you can sign up to become a member, because, I mean, the way it works right now, you have to come to the museum to get one of these programming guides. But if you're a member, we mail it to you.
When they get there, we'll grab them by the tie. And your director will come out too. We're going to look at some slides, and you can narrate those, and
Sure.
bada boom, bada bing.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, so this is an image from one of our art auction seasons. It's one of our annual fundraisers where a lot of local and regional artists sort of donate artworks to the auction, and we auction it off to raise funds to keep the museum open.
Is that somebody bidding?
That's what it looks like, yeah. And there's some folks getting a closer look at some of the artwork on display. So we have the art auction, and then we have big name, small art, which is, artwork that's much smaller in scale. And also for sort of budding collectors, it's a good place to start.
I'm good with that. And that that woman is flying above people?
I sort of have that reaction too, Ray, when I look at this photo, like, how does she do that? But yes, that's an image from our second Thursday art party, Art Mix. Every month there's a different theme, so come down and check it out. You'll always be surprised. There's music performances, there's good food, there's good drinks, and a good crowd.
A big crowd.
And then there's another great image from Art Mix.
Oh, yes. I love this picture.
Yeah.
She looks like she's having fun.
And
there's
it's
this purple light on her, which is really fabulous.
It's just great to be at the museum sort of after dark, too. It takes on a whole other sort of energy. And then jazz night. So the fourth Thursdays are always sort of a music program of ours, and jazz has been a long-running concert series at the Crocker. So once again, you can see it's really atmospheric. You can see people are dancing, and then we kind of move into our.
There's some adults right there.
Some kids programming. We do a lot of kids programs where we sort of activate the collection, and then have a lot of hands-on art making activities. So. We have a lot of school group tours that come through, and they do
push paint. They can push paint there.
Yeah, wow, activities and stuff in our studio space, which is located in the basement of the historic building, and then we also do programs for teens.
So when I first went there, it didn't look like that.
Yes.
It looked like the ancient building to the left, and that's the only thing they had. And I watched them build the new building and loved it, and to find that it was really well designed, because you get this open feeling, and then you're drawn into the various rooms for art.
I like to think of the relationship between the historic building and, I guess, what we term the modern building, is that the museum is rooted in history, but it is always looking to the future. So
this is good. This is really a lovely thought there, because I think that's what art should do, look into the future. So, okay, I find it fascinating to have a job like yours, is actually working around artists and talking to artists, and I think you're a lucky man on the planet.
I have to agree with you, Ray. Yes, I feel very lucky to do what I do.
Okay, well, how are we doing on our timing? I think it's important for you, Houghton Kinsman, to come back and talk to me when all of these things change, because you're always changing, always adding things to things, and so every once in a while I want to see your face here, okay?
That sounds good. As long as you have me, I'll be here.
Oh, I have 4 minutes. Okay, we have 4 minutes. We could talk about, say, what are you doing next week? So, the staff there, I mean, you have the curator of the artworks that go on the wall, but tell me about the staff and how that works.
Yeah, I mean, museum work is, I guess, multifaceted. I work in the education department. We have a curatorial department. We have a development department.
Curatorial, that
Yes.
means the people that pick art
Yes.
and say, yeah, this one's got a lot of oomph.
Yes, and that should
And
go
words
there,
like that.
and that should go there.
Yeah, right.
And then they write it out.
Higher.
Yes, yes. But it's really, I love working with the curatorial department. Getting to see what sort of exhibitions they're drumming up, and then how I can create ways for people to engage with it.
That's good, real good, good. And so the board of directors, you have a board of directors, and those are people from all around town who run the whole idea of raising money so that they can A, buy new art, right? B, buy new art,
and B, keep the education programs going.
That's of course.
Yes, yes. So
I see that.
Yes. So the way the museum works, we kind of mission drivers for us are the exhibitions and the collections, but also the education programs.
Yeah.
So we kind of work in tandem together, and yes, the board of directors and the executive director do a great deal to make sure we are able to provide what we do to the public.
Good, and I'm sure that in the long run, people, if they have even go to one of these programs, so there's the program that's happening tomorrow night at 6:30. You can go on down there and see this funny, strange film called United Skates. It's about skating. Can kids come and see it too?
More for the adult audiences, but we do tend to show films for kids every now and then.
You
so
can.
Good reason to check out the art interactives.
That book again, okay? All right, well, good. I wish you well and everything you're doing over there, because it's such an amazing thing. And also to say that some of the programs, like the La Raza Gathering of Works, there it is. They put it up. Thank you. So there's the Art Mix Jazz Night at the Crocker. It's on every fourth Thursday, and it's at 7 p.m. and it's various jazz groups come in, right? Like Sacramento Jazz?
Yes, groups from Sacramento, groups from the Bay Area, groups that come up from Southern California.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Yeah. So, okay. I can't gainsay that, except to say that the programming has really changed since the time I first came then.
Yes, it has grown exponentially.
It sure has. Yeah. It sure has. Welcome to the program. Come on back anytime. And I really thank you very much, Houghton, for talking to me about the Crocker Art Museum and all of its stuff.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Ray.
Okay, we're going to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll see you next Wednesday. And we're wrapping it up, and so thanks for watching. California needs more art.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed